Hello and welcome everyone to the second live demo of SAST, or Static Analysis in an Offline Environment. And Thomas, please take it away.
Alrighty, here we go. Thank you everybody for your time and attention. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And we will go right here. Okay, so in this particular case, we are already logged in to our test environment. So this is, and I'm walking through two new test projects in this particular environment, going against two separate analyzers. And the reason for doing this is that when we were demoing SAST in an offline environment the first time, there was a request for one thing to be amended in that or improved upon, and that this demo includes this demo happens to include analyzers or projects that are finding occurrences of vulnerabilities with severities of more than just unknown. So give us a mix of high, medium, low, and so forth. That is the intent of today's demo. That is what it is scoped to. And in the spirit, and so the additions to this environment are to add two new analyzers because we only pulled down a subset the first time as opposed to every last one of them. So I've added two more. I want to show you which ones those are. I've got two test projects that exercise each of those two new analyzers independently with their own project security dashboards that we can then roll up into the group dashboard for our tests and show the mix across all of those projects. And so that's what we're doing today. Any questions before I continue on?
I think we're good.
Okay, moving forward. All right, the two new analyzers here. One is PHP CS Security Audit, and the other, so no, that's the one new one. The other one we had in here was GoSec, which we loaded in last time, but we did not exercise with our test projects. So those are the two that we are using just to verify, so everybody can see that they're here. So I've dug into this particular project. We're going to its container registry. This is local, PHP CS Security Audit. And also headed to GoSec, we will go into its container registry. This is here also. So these are loaded, they're ready to go. First test, I'm going to go in opposite order. I'm going to start with PHP CS Composer. All right, this is effectively a clone of a test project that we have within GitLab.com today. I have ported it over. This was ported over through our Bastion, so I use that as a go-between to get this project in. And to go ahead and show this, we're looking at master. So wrong file. Not git ignore. No. This one, the reason why I'm starting here is you'll notice we've got SAST enabled. You will notice that we have done two things. We have disabled Docker and Docker. We have also limited down the default analyzers to only be PHP CS Security Audit, just to make sure that we're scoped to what we want to demo. You will note that I have not satisfied documentation for offline for SAST, and that we haven't declared the prefix like we did with our JavaScript test project. And just to remind everybody what that looks like. This is the missing environment. This is the missing variable from the configuration. So I wanted to start with this to show that within master, this is not set up correctly. We do have a merge request that is available here. Enable offline mode for SAST. We're going to go ahead and show the changes. The changes are twofold. One, we're adding in the necessary environment variable to satisfy our documentation. And secondarily, we're adding in our check to once again show that we cannot get back to registry.gitlab.com, and therefore we are truly working within the context of this instance, and we're not relying on anything within .com. So with that, there is a pipeline that has already been run. We're going to go ahead and rerun it. Give me a moment to remember how to do that.
Do you want to rerun the job or the whole pipeline?
I want to rerun the pipeline, and I'm
you just do a new pipeline. It'll go back on screen.
Yeah, I was having a
Run pipeline.
Yeah, I was having a bit of mental
That's
flatulence.
Okay. You get to pick the right branch. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting for that to run, can I ask a quick question?
Go for it.
I noticed that your registry that you're using locally is on port 4567. I'm assuming that was just a local config choice. The default port of 5000 is normally fine, which is what's in the documentation. It's just that's a choice that you made in your individual test environment. Is that an accurate assumption?
We'll have to check the docs. I do not remember. I don't think it's not the port in this particular case. It's all about configuration. As long as GitLab knows how to talk to its own container registry, we'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay. This pipeline is passed. So the security audit, so our security tool ran, as well did check offline. Both of these have passed. I can drill into these jobs if everyone would like. Nope. Okay. I'm going back to our merge request.
Yeah, show the MR stuffs.
We have found 6 vulnerabilities. I'm going to go ahead and expand. You will notice that we've got a couple of highs and 4 lows. So these are the vulnerabilities that were found by this particular scan. So this was part 1 of showing we got a whole bunch of different severities that are within one merge request and within one project.
Did we want to rescore 2 right now? Because I think we just hit the breakpoint between 2 and 3. Did we need to rescore step 2, the setup and config, since we just set it up and configured it?
I think that makes sense.
Any concerns, or is everything all clear?
Yeah, the only concern I had was I just wanted to confirm whether the documentation was supposed to be 5000 or 4567. Because I noticed in your YAML you were using 4567. Like I said, I'm guessing that's just a local choice within the environment. If anybody knows for sure, if you configured your registry to be on that port as opposed to the default.
I think we'll have to get back to you on that one, so I'll make that an action item.
Oh, okay.
At the risk of being combative, why does this detail matter?
I was just following the instructions and was just curious if we needed to update the documentation, that's all. Because
if we have to have the documentation say 5000, then we have to put an MR to update the docs.
Yeah, no. This is, we're configuring it to work with the local container registry.
Gotcha.
That's what this is. It is not that we need something special to work in this particular environment. That just happens to be where our container registry is here.
That's what I was going for. I just wanted to confirm that was the case, so that someone watching this video doesn't see the discrepancy and not understand. That's the only reason I was asking the clarifying question. Under that case, I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to be deliberate. Are we good? Do we still have an action item?
Yeah, from my perspective, I think we're good.
Does the documentation that we have, can the user have this state if they follow our documentation to set up things on their end and all the documentation works fine?
I think so. The default port's 5000. That's what's in the documentation. It makes sense to me.
Well, yeah, and I guess maybe just to ground out entirely on this, Thomas, was that, did you just pick a port arbitrarily this time, or was it a selected one for any particular reason? Or
This was part of this environment setup.
okay, so that's fine. That's like I said, so it was defined in some fashion, basically. So,
Yeah, this is not unique for SAST or anything else. This just happens to be where the container registry is.
okay, thank you.
Anything else before we move on?
Cool. Is that a 5, everyone? 5.
I'd
Cool.
go with 5.
All right.
Okay. Congrats.
All right, moving on. And I'm going to declare that I like to live dangerously, and I'm going to merge with these vulnerabilities in place. So those have been merged in, and we're going to go ahead and head over to the security dash. Come on. I've got to wait for it to merge. That's right. Duh. We're going to give this a moment to allow the pipeline for the merge to complete. That's when that will be populated. While we're waiting, I'm going to go to a companion project that's over here using Go modules. We're in the same state. Note that we have limited our default analyzers. We have set Docker and Docker, so we're not using it. We're just disabled it. We have not satisfied our current state, our needs for the offline environment. We haven't declared the local container registry. Merge request is here. This one's bigger because this is where, if I can be accused of ad-libbing, this is where I was ad-libbing. Number 1 for configuration. Same setup. This is the exact same prefix that we were using for others. We've also added in our check offline job. The other changes were to this particular project as well, which is yet another test project we have for SAST to exercise everything. And the reason for these changes is because since this is an offline environment and it cannot make external calls to things like GitHub, which is where these particular third-party modules live. So these particular changes were to remove those requirements and to add in some additional modules that are baked into the Golang to the Golang language itself. And to replace the functionality that was used by this third-party logging module, we went with so this is to make this sample project use Go's own logging module as opposed to something that is an override. And the other thing that is added here is a new vulnerability that is separate and distinct from our test project. This particular vulnerability was chosen because it is of a high severity. This is an integer overflow or wraparound condition, which the GoSec tool itself will declare as a high severity vulnerability. And so that's why this particular change was introduced within this merge request. So this has already been staged with the pipelines passing. I'm going to go ahead and rerun this. So we have this running as well. GoSec is passed. Check offline will be finishing here shortly.
So those are the 2 analyzers that you're planning to have.
Yes, these are the 2 analyzers that we're putting forward for demo today.
All right. So in theory, if these 2 work, then we can grade step 3, and then you can show us the results, and that'll be step 4.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're back to the merge request. We'll notice we have 5 vulnerabilities that are here, and we have a spread of high, medium, and low. within this particular merge request. So
All right.
any questions here?
So I think we can grade step 3, which is having the analyzers run successfully. I think we passed on that one last time, so unless there's any new concerns, we probably passed on it again.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. All right. We will go ahead and hit the merge button. Go ahead. All right, while that is merged, let's head back over here. See if we've had time for this to, here's our project security dashboard. We'll notice we've got 2 high and 4 low. So showing once again, these are just for SAST, and we have the ability to filter for these as one would expect. So this is showing that everything is, that all of these filters are working as we would expect. Any questions on that one?
Nope.
Okay. Let's see if we got lucky over here. Not yet. We're waiting for this one to finish. While we are waiting on this one to finish, any questions? There we go. All right, so our go test has finished up. We'll note we got the same 5 that we had as shown within the merge request with our spread, high, medium, and low. So these are 2 instances. These are 2 new projects within the tests group. And the reason for going that direction was to make sure that when we came up to the group security dashboard and we filter it for SAST, we have a spread of vulnerabilities that are available across multiple projects. And we can show vulnerabilities over time as well as everything else that is within this particular view's functionality. I'll pause there for questions.
Looks good.
Okay. I'll be honest, that's what I came prepared to demo today, because this was the one gap that was identified the first time that we went through this particular exercise for static analysis. So, is there anything else that you would like to see that I have neglected to prepare, or show, or demonstrate?
I'm good. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. If the one thing I would say is that if we are going to like do a final like SAST a demo for just like the website or the YouTube channel, it'd be good to use one of these analyzers because it looks better.
I think we're planning to do the all-inclusive.
Put together a final one if you wanted to, but I'm just suggesting, like, if you're putting something out there like for folks just doing searches on the internet to find, having the one with the different vulnerabilities looks good. But from a testing perspective, everything looks great.
I had comments on the next time around. Do we want to? Not do we? I think we should reconcile the steps, and if we need a few more checkpoints to cross out the marks, then let's add some roles for that. Is the SAST demo using the steps in the scorecard only, and do we need any similar extra crosslinks like the others? And do we need to do it for the next demos?
I think for SAST, this puts it all at 5, so I'm not sure we would plan to demo SAST on its own. We'd only include it as part of the all-in-one at the end. So would it be worth, I don't think it's worth changing anything for it at this point, because we've got a link to the Scratchpad and everything, so.
Right, so what we talked about last time is in the steps, keep it lean and link to the Scratchpad. What I'm saying is, should we just clean up the structure so there's nothing in the scorecard, right? There's only one link to like the anchor heading in the Scratchpad is now the script. Like, should we clean it up so it's clear when people digest the scorecard?
Would you mind if I added links, Thomas, and linked the Google Sheet to the Google Doc? Okay.
Thomas is all right with it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
All right. So did we come up with a final score for step 4?
I would say that would be a 5.
Okay.
I think we're
Okay.
we're good across the board.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Anything else to call out on this before we end the live demo?
Nice work, SAST team.
Nice work. Let's look at the chart.
Yes.
I did a golf clap,
Okay.
by the way, and cheering. 1 down.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So Mech, you mentioned the charts. Did you want to share a screen or something and show that, or?
Yeah, so I can help with that. 1 second.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. So going up, multicolors, I think we need to look into the other areas. So just to summarize, the black dots, Nicole, feel free to correct me, is the overall status, and then these are all the different tracks. So we're making great progress. Any questions before I stop sharing? Cool.
Looks great. Thanks, Mech. All right. I'll do last call before I end the recording. Anything else we should cover? All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.